We are here.
We're here.
Now they're here.
They're here.
Okay.
About time you guys showed up.
Yeah, we've been here all day.
All day.
Okay.
Not just start drinking though.
Yeah, just now start drinking. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. I'm drinking whiskey with ice in it.
And I'm doing the Italian beer.
Right, so we can piss off the whole world in just in 2 beverages.
Here's to you all.
Anyhow, so we're going to do a little Q&A. Let me adjust this down a little bit. And, okay. And one thing, we're going to get things started. See if we can get started on the right foot. So if you have any questions, this is going to be live. So we're going to leave all the new questions till the end. We'll go through the questions that people have submitted. And let me reiterate, at the end, if you have any other questions that don't make it on here, if you're watching this and go, hey, I wish they talked about such and such, then make sure you submit it on the comment section of this video. Because between Facebook, personal messages, Fanaticus site,
personal messages.
Yeah, people wanted to send me a specific plea for a question being answered. Right. So make sure you put it here in the comments section for the next video, and once we get enough of them, we'll do another one. Or if it's like a week like this where nobody decides to show up, everybody bails on you.
I know. It's a Tuesday. Where is everybody?
Their moms didn't let them out of their basement.
Oops.
Should have done your chores. Anyhow, so for those of you who don't know what this is, we're going to be going over some questions that people gave us about these rules. No, these, not those. See, these are all ripped and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are no good.
This is a used book.
DBA 3.0. So we play it a lot. We're not the author. So if you don't like them, then, don't blame us. Anyhow,
personal message to them.
Yeah, personal message as well. So anyways, we're going to go through these questions here that people have had. And I guess it's been, about a month?
Has it been that long?
It has been about that long.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Wow. It didn't seem like a month. It just seemed like yesterday.
Okay, Rip Van Winkle. Okay, so, in no particular order, these are the questions off the Fanaticus site first. And I'll reiterate again before I get into them. Make sure any new questions that you want if you're here live, go ahead and ask your question and we'll get to those questions at the end. I don't know how long this is going to go. It went about an hour and a half last time.
I have no idea. I don't even know what the questions are. I have no idea.
There you go. So we've kept them from you.
Yeah, see?
And I've
much as surprised you.
I've read them lightly. Let's put it that way.
Lightly.
So, okay, first one from Stevie. Stevie, you don't know this, but Stevie is the unofficial rules lawyer at the Fanaticus guy.
Okay.
At the Fanaticus site.
But you say he's the blind guy, and I'm like, no,
I don't know. I don't know that he's blind, but he's into the rules.
Okay.
I'm actually not into the rules that much. I just like to play the game and paint little men.
Yeah. There you go.
But anyhow, okay. So he says he has a question for me. In the 6 games that I commanded the Book 213 Samnites, why did I employ, those battles that we did, okay, where I got my ass, if you guys haven't seen that battle, I'll save you the time. I just got my ass kicked every time, okay?
And he did.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay? So, just save you the trouble of that. But go ahead and click on it so I can get a view from you. And then go ahead and...
then get out.
And then get out. Yeah, go ahead and make some coffee or something like that. Have some whiskey. Okay. In the 6 games that I commanded 113 Samnites, why did you deploy them in one long line with no reserves? And he says, now I'm no fan of solid ox, but surely if anyone needs reserves to plug the gaps that will inevitably appear, it's the auxiliaries. 6 battles, 6 times, no reserves, and 6 defeats. I'm not saying that having reserves will win, but having them don't help.
But he's saying there's a chance.
He's saying there's a chance. So I'm going to go ahead and
it sounds.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you what my reply was.
I don't want to get in his mind because it's scary in there. So I don't know why he did that.
Okay. I am not a fan of what?
Solid war.
I'm losing 6 times in a row. I am not a fan of getting flanked.
Oh, that's true.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Especially when a unit such as Ox already has a combat value that is very small when a -1 is applied to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's another game that is DBA-ish that is played on the computer called Field of Glory. And I don't usually put my MO generally is outflanking people. That's my go-to thing. We know some people that like to go after camps. I like to outflank the guy. Okay, so if you don't set up in a line, you're going to be the guy that's going to be outflanked.
You're going to get
okay, and it's not like it's a spear or blade where it can handle a -1. You know, it's a 3 against foot or mounted, and a -1's pretty deadly. As a matter of fact, in several of those battles, I lost guys because of a guy in the middle.
Yeah.
So in other words, I wasn't even outflanked.
Yeah.
So my MO is basically to outflank people. For those of you who haven't played me, that's what I'm looking for. So
now I know.
Maybe
so
not. Now we've only played 858 times, which by the way, you're at -8 to me.
-8.
Yeah, we played almost 900 times, and you are 8 games behind. So if you win the next 8 or even, you got to win a 9th one to get ahead.
Oh, wait a minute. On my numbers, I'm
Get your abacus out.
I'm +8.
How convenient. Drink.
Yeah, drink.
Okay. So anyways, all of us have a different playing style, and I'm a big fan of flanking. That's what I just said. Also, at a pace of 2 base widths, solid ox are not able to react laterally very well.
Yeah,
I do like playing with reserves, but there are almost always knights and cav for this role. I will bring up reserves in next Q&A whenever that will be. Well, that's today, and I just brought it up, so there you go. So what's your comment on...
it's...
on reserves. What's your comment on reserves?
You
use them, right?
Yeah, I do some, but there's a lot. Again, this game is like, you can't just straightforward answer something because there's the game within the game with the terrain. So sometimes terrain allows you to have reserve because you don't have to worry about mounted coming around your flank because you got a woods there or a bad going hill. So you can put a reserve in the back, but it's not always necessarily the deal. So it's hard to say that you can always have a reserve or you can't.
I tend to use reserves more when I'm the defender because the defender has to deploy first. So you don't know exactly what the other guy's going to do, but you have to deploy everybody first so that you give yourself some flexibility. But as the attacker, you know how the other guy's set up. You know kind of what you're going to do.
Yeah, you pretty much got to go. When you're an attacker, you're committed, you kind of got to go.
I mean, it's 12 elements, so if you end up using reserves, then that's less elements on your front line, and the other guy could just end up outflanking you. Now, if it was a regular battle where it was like 15 guys versus 12, like, well, I'll go ahead and send 13. I'll still have more guys than he has, and I'll have reserves. Well, it's different, but a DBA, but that's the thing that makes it really cool is to get something, you have to give something away.
And sometimes I don't know.
That's not on the screen.
Yeah. Oh. All right.
Okay.
Right.
And no reading the questions before I read them. Okay.
Another thing you can do is if imaginary you had a long line here, one thing I'm a fan of is staggering. So they might go forward, and I might, if I don't like what this guy's got on this side over here, I might hold back this line here.
You learned that from me.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, it's something.
I do that sometimes.
It seems like it come natural to me, but if I don't like, if there's a bunch of knights and stuff, and I got a lot of infantry to get quick killed from it, I might stagger back, or if they're more powering than this line, I'll hold this back and I'll try and win it with this. So you can get away with doing this, or you can do opposite things to.
Well, I wouldn't call that a reserve. I'd call a reserve like you've got a line of guys here,
yeah,
and then you got some guy back here.
Yeah.
So you're what happened here?
That's my baggage train.
No, but I mean they're like stuck together.
Oh, it's magnets.
Whiskey made me weak. I couldn't pull 2 magnets apart.
He's getting weak, folks. He's already worn out.
3 sips and I'm done. Yeah, reserves is like I'm thinking of guys like that, not
But in a way,
keep away.
You could create a reserve.
You can.
By doing that.
You could.
Yeah. Because this guy can go over here and help.
He could.
And he can always cover this.
He could.
So there's some options. Again, for me, it's not, you can't just say, yep, got to go reserves or got to go solid. It all fluctuates on what they got, what the terrain is, all kinds of stuff. So,
okay.
Just stay a solid, this is the way you play it every time. Nope.
Well, there are people that play the same way every time.
Yeah.
They don't do too good.
Not me.
Yeah. Okay. And done.
Check.
Okay, Stevie.
Hope that answered your question. I hope you answered your question.
Have a nice life. Okay. Again, from Fanaticus. Well, let me check in. We got 5 viewers here. Let's see what we got. We got any comments? You guys just join us. Dealing with war wagons. Joe, no, we're not going to tackle that.
Huh.
We're not going to tackle war wagons.
Soon enough.
Soon. We got to get some. We got to get some war wagons finished.
Very soon. Somebody does.
Yeah.
Not this guy. I got my own. Somebody else needs to get
some Russian tanks got in the way. Man, communists never look so good though.
Oh my gosh.
Anyhow. All right. This is also from Fanaticus, from Chef Mark. But one thing I wanted to mention, those you guys that are joining us live didn't catch the beginning of it. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them now. We will get to them after these 8 or 9 questions that we had that got answered in the last 3 weeks. If your question doesn't make it on here, then please ask it at the bottom of the comments of this video when it gets uploaded, and we'll catch you on the next one. But, if we only get like 1 new question in the next year, we might take like 3 years for us to do a Q&A. So.
The longer you take them on them up, the longer it takes for a video to come.
That's right. It's on you guys. Remember that. Okay. Okay, so from Fanaticus, from Chef Mark. Here's a question for your discussion. Do you have any particular armies that, and I'm going to let you answer this one first. Do you have any particular armies that tend to either A, underperform, or B, overachieve? And then he gives us an example. Okay? This example he has. For me, it would be my Umayyad Abbasid Arab army, a nice balance of cav, spears, bow, and light troops, which I bought painted but have never won a game with him. So he's never won with the Umayyads.
I feel for you there.
Yeah, that's a great army.
That's a nice army.
He must not be holding his mouth right.
Try eating bacon with it.
Well, one thing that helps with that army is you got to have a good battle cry.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It helps.
That's right.
I've won a tournament with them before. I morphed them into a tournament and cleaned the... I think it's a great army.
Yeah, it's a nice army.
Yeah. Okay, and then he has a follow-up question.
What's the B?
No, do you have any particular armies that... So what armies do you have that underperform?
Ooh.
And, just so you know, there's a further question that somebody joined in that said, I bet your army that underperforms is this one. So somebody thinks they know what your underperforming army is.
Of me?
Yes.
Oh my. And it's not you?
No, it's not me. No. I don't worry about his
already
win-loss.
guessed.
I don't worry about your win-loss things.
Yeah,
That's your own record keeping.
Underachieving.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks he knows what the under. Well, maybe ever.
Well, the guy
overachieving one.
No.
Oh.
That's B. We'll get to that later.
God, I gotta go with A first.
You want to do the overachieving first?
Well, it's kind of. I mean, I really like my polls. And
They're your overachievers?
They do pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've certainly won more than they've lost.
Exactly.
But I don't know if it's 2-1.
It's pretty close.
You know what I think your kick-ass army is? Those goddamn Numidians. Drink!
That's your worst nightmare.
Those curly-haired desert guys. Jeez.
They're fun. They're fun. And I like to run them with the elephant and the blades. That's fun.
Of course.
Yeah. And that's for Wimp Wars. All right. So,
I think that's your winning. But what do you think your winningest army is? Well, you have a bunch.
Well, I mean, overachieving.
How many armies do you have, by the way? Somebody asked me, how many armies does Mitch have?
Yeah.
And I said, about 50.
Yeah.
And then he morphs a whole bunch of other ones. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may have more than 50.
Yeah. So underachieving.
What about your overachieving?
Well, I say polls.
The polls?
Yeah.
What do you think mine are? I actually know because I keep track of my stats.
Scots Irish. Actually, his Armenians are.
My Armenians are pretty darn good. They're like 48 and 24 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's still only 2-1. My Irish are pretty high up there.
Yeah.
My Nanchow are pretty high up there. They were.
Yeah, underachieving. I would say because I had hoped. Man, I'd say my Koreans, and I really like them.
Your Koreans, really? Or you
I haven't had a good luck with them.
They beat me.
Yeah, barely. It seems like when I did the tournaments with them.
Southern Sungnu. This guy says. He doesn't think you've won a game with him.
Yeah, there are those guys too. Ooh.
Out of
Asian
interest,
Army,
has Mitch ever won a game with this army? Have you?
Yeah.
Do you remember ever winning with him? Not against me.
No, yeah.
I think I played you twice. You've lost.
I might have won one game with them.
Wasn't against me.
Yeah, it wasn't against you. Because we did.
It's kind of a cool army. For a light army, it's a cool army.
That's the army I had to draw. The 2 draws of my whole life I've had. That's one of the armies I had to draw.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How many draws have you had?
2.
So you've drawn twice as many games as I have.
Yeah.
I've only drawn 1.
Yep. I was trying to remember what the other army was that I had that draw with a nephew. Not my nephew, but somebody else's.
Oh, that was one of your draws?
Yeah.
Oh, I know who the other draw was as well.
Yeah.
You drew 2 games against Americans.
Yes.
My draw was against a Canadian.
Ooh. Sorry about that.
Exactly. Well, he didn't apologize. So maybe he wasn't a real Canadian.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll take that back.
Imposter!
Probably snuck across from Alaska. He's American.
Something like that.
Oh. Yeah, the sun. Yeah.
What's my biggest loser army? Come on, man, my Turks.
Yeah,
but my Turks are 16 and 32 or something like that. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Which sounds really bad, and it is really bad.
Yeah.
But my Carriage guys, they're 1 and 4.
Yeah.
So technically that's worse.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I really like to play both of those armies. I really like the way both of those armies look. I just can't win games with them.
That's what I hate is an army that you love, that looks really cool, and you really want to play with it, but always is bad, and you're like,
Well, it's still better than one that you don't do well with and looks like shit.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's that.
There is that.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so he continues. His follow-up question is, this could prompt another question. It just did. Do troops fight better for you if you've bought and painted them yourself? In other words, should you be wary of Sam Knights bearing gifts? I'll answer that first. So, one of the most winning armies that I have is an army that I started building. So I started painting. I've painted enough to do 2 1/4 elements and just ran out of steam. It's my Athenians. And I was going to build them for an event at one of the Historicons. I want to say it was 2009 or 2000. No, wait. It's 2010 or 2011. It was one of those 2. And I ended up having to borrow the army from Rich Goss. And the army that he had is just absolutely fugly looking. Just one of the most ugly. They didn't even have a commander. Okay? So I had to take like a piece of tape and wrap it around the figure's head, just to designate which stand had the commander on it. But they were unstoppable. They were unfreaking stoppable.
Makes you feel good.
So, and then I've got armies that I think I've spent a long time painting, and they look beautiful and unique, and they just can't win. So, no, I don't think there's any correlation. I don't think there's any correlation. You don't paint any of your armies. So the question for you would be, do your armies that look better perform better?
No.
No? Okay, yeah, there's no correlation. One would like to think that
you'd like to think so. You're like, these guys are so well dressed, they fight look really good. No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. And then he says, I would also suggest another contender as Alexandria Macedonian, which I think won worst performing army twice in a tournament here in the UK, where you see other people's armies. So most players had a chance with it, but still came bottom. I don't know. I think Alexandria. Well, it may just be. It's not very new person friendly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very newbie friendly.
Because of the, half your army's pikes, so you really gotta have a good.
If you don't know how to use pike,
you can get
you got a
trouble
problem.
real fast.
So.
Yeah.
And then he said Libyan DBA army probably didn't win a tournament. That was the big joke that everybody was saying.
We did
what was it called? Bring out your shit?
A theme.
It was, what was it called?
Yeah, bring out your crap or something like that. So you had to bring what you thought was the crappiest army, do 2 rounds with the other guy playing.
Complete utter crap.
Complete utter crap.
Complete utter crap.
So you did 2 rounds where the other guy plays your complete other crap.
So you bring a crap army that you don't think is any good.
Yep.
And for 2 of the rounds, you play it against somebody else's crap army. They play it.
They play
it, and you play whatever army they
think.
have.
And then the final round, you got to play your crap army.
Yeah. And the amazing thing, we had like 6 players, right?
Yeah. Was it just 6? That was my.
It was 6 or 4.
But
everybody brought a different army. Only cool. One person brought the early Libyans.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of. That's kind of a cool deal because everybody's trying to finagle armies that they think would. They know how they operate, but does somebody else know how to use it?
Here, have this pile of shit. Enjoy it,
Yeah. Yep. Because I ran that Greek army where half of it's like Saloy and there's 4 spear.
Aetolians or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was yeah. Because I thought that was like, oh man, it'll be rough to, have these guys stand up against other things,
Who won that?
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't. I think either Luke or whoever he played was for the final.
Have we only run that one time?
I think so.
I won it.
It was you then.
Because I have a thing of it. I got to redo it. It didn't fit on.
Well, there you go. He's got the plaque.
I'm the crappiest player. I got the plaque to prove it. I don't remember though. It wasn't very memorable. I remember that it was nice that not everybody had.
That was the best part. That everybody had different ideas.
Yeah, because you don't want people to bring the same army, regardless of what it is. That's just freaking boring.
Mm-hmm.
That's just boring. You don't want to see that. So.
Well, we do tournaments. I always try and pick something I'm hoping that nobody else will pick, and then and most time it does turn pretty good. Only every now and then you'll get it. If you got a Roman theme or something like that.
It used to happen a lot more often. When I first started playing, it'd be like 4 people brought the same army out of 14 players. That just sucks.
But lately, it's been pretty good.
Lately we haven't had a tournament. Well, what are you talking about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Lately it's been really good. There's been no
we haven't had that issue, right?
Everybody's had their own.
Okay. All right, we got other comments here from YouTube. Patty Green, I wonder where he's from.
Oh,
drink. I don't know if he's from there, but some people don't use their real name. Most people don't use a real name, and they're not buttholes either. You would think that if you're gonna, use a handle, at least yell fire in the movie theater or something like that. But anyhow, Patty Green says, "You say you don't have a favorite army for playing DBA, but which is yours and Mitch's favorite army to own and why? Could be your favorite army to have painted or a personal connection to a historical period. Interesting to know which one you reach for when showing off your models." You go first. What's your favorite DBA army?
If that was going to show off an army? Is that showing off?
Favorite army to have painted or a personal connection to a historical period.
Mm-hmm.
Which army do you have that you really like the way they look?
My Crusaders.
Your Crusaders. You play them a fair amount.
Yeah. And I do good with them too.
Yeah?
Yeah. My Crusaders are pretty cool looking. I like those.
Who makes those figures?
Hey, Tony.
Work you up on the people in Italy. Legio.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, Legio. Legio Heroica.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good army I like.
That one you reach for?
Yeah, I would. Yep.
I don't have a favorite army. Although lately it's been, the Irish.
It's because you like to drink with them.
I do like to drink with them. That helps. And it's an army that most people aren't going to play.
Right.
Because most people don't like most people don't like things Irish.
Yeah.
No, it's just not a very popular. It's not a very popular army.
It's
not a very popular.
I was gonna say, if anybody else has got it out there, you need to comment and let
Let's
us
see.
know.
The Irish armies are as popular as the Asians armies are,
Yeah.
which have gotten a little better
Yeah.
since we started playing. But
Yeah, I like the Asian armies.
yeah, the COVID armies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Second one from Patty Green. You couldn't get enough of me. Which element is the? Oh no, we're good. We're gonna end now. We'll go ahead and do it now. Which element in DBA 3.0 is the most broken? That is, which element's performance on the DBA table is least representative of its historical performance? Don't steal my thunder.
Yeah, I know what you think.
You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And it's not what you think.
Well, I'll just say, in the theme of the earlier part of this, I'll stick with the solid auxilia.
You don't like solid auxilia?
Yeah, solid auxilia.
No?
Sucks.
You think they're broken?
I mean, they do their job. It's just hard to react with.
They don't act like the do they act like a historical counterpart? How does their historical counterpart out? You don't know.
Yeah. Oh.
So you're a solid auxilia, not like her.
Yeah.
I say you.
If I can pick anything else.
I say he plays the Sam Knights next. No, I'm not letting him play the Sam Knights. You know why? Because as soon as you're going to take him, he'll win this first freaking game with him. Okay? Because it's just dice bullshit. You use your 2 dice and you're using twice as many dice as I am.
Bam!
Make you use a dice tower. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Light horse. Light horse is the most broken. It's not. It's broken from the standpoint of when you move a light horse army like the Mongols or something like that, and you play them in DBA, and you get done getting beat, because you're not going to win with them, odds are, unless you're fighting somebody who has a lot of mounted.
Yeah.
You just don't. They don't feel right. They don't feel like you. They. It's like a littoral landing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily broken in the rules, but it doesn't feel like anything that would happen
in a real battle.
Especially if you watch the Evening with the Franks and you see the second game that I played against Scott, the goat roping that I pulled on him.
Yeah.
Is it illegal? Is it a legal move? Yes. Is it historical?
No.
Hell no. The other guys have to be on some serious shrooms to have seen that happen.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It doesn't necessarily translate well into representative of what it is. So mine would definitely without a doubt be no, that's broken from the standpoint of how do they act regarding performance of a real unit. Not who do I not want in my army because they're not going to win for me. That would be Warband for me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I don't think Warband are broken because look at all the armies that have a lot of Warband. What did they do? They didn't take over the world.
Well,
so, but Light Horse definitely would be, that would be my vote for that. Okay, final question of the ones that were sent in. This guy's got a long name. Baldy's Battles and Miniatures. I hope he doesn't have a lot of hair.
Baldy?
Yeah.
Baldy. And on to the question.
Well, he wanted to write me a little love note.
Oh, personal stuff.
Well, you know what? I'll say it. Why not?
Oh,
It's the internet.
Sure.
If you don't want to stand behind what you're going to say, don't put it out there, right?
Uh-huh.
Totally agree with DBA being a great tourney convention game. Get stuffed. Get stuffed.
Oh.
After 15 minutes, no problem. Go and have a look around or visit the bring and buy. Often get 5 or 6 games in the day, still with breaks and lunch. Though I've been known to lose in like 5 minutes and have another practice game against the opponent. Love bigger, longer games like Art de la Guerre or COC. I don't know what COC. But playing DBA. I really don't mind.
Command and Color?
No, that's not a longer
Yeah,
game.
Command of.
No,
Okay.
no. Stand down.
Okay.
Playing DBA, I really don't mind if it gets slaughtered. His next game's about a half an hour. Looking forward to seeing more games. It's great you guys get to bang out still. Right, we're gonna bang out.
Right. Here's
Drink,
to ya.
bang one out. One burning question I have. Uh-oh. This is a preparation
Burning.
H
Here it
question.
comes.
The burning question. I'm sorry. It's small writing.
I was all ready.
What? It's still the burning question I have is nothing about DBA.
Oh.
It's not DBA related, but it's a burning question.
I hope it's not about feet or underwear or
It's
anything
just
like that.
not about feet. I'm just gonna stop right there. Wow. On this shelf where you keep Axis and Allies games, so look up here.
Yep.
There is a red and cream box. Is it a line in the sand? I only played it twice whilst I was at sea with the Royal Navy.
Aha!
Once a part of the coalition versus Iraq, and second I was Israel versus Arab coalition. Really enjoyed both games, but I seem to remember they went on for ages. You have
the
an
line in the
orange
sand,
and
right?
cream box behind you. Well, let's see.
Right.
You took your porn mags from up here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The
They're no
girly
longer-
pictures are gone.
The girly pictures are gone. Well, it doesn't have to be girl porn.
Oh, okay.
Come on, be a little open-minded here.
What was he talking about?
Well, let's see. Let's go to the top here. What do we got? What's orange and cream? There's Zulu Attack up here. That's got some cream on it. Rourke's Drift. There's no red there. Red. Battle Divulge. You don't have a line in the sand, do you?
Is it down below? Down below. All the way in the
African
bottom.
campaign.
All the way on the bottom. All the way on the bottom.
Oh, a line in the sand all the way down there?
Yeah.
You must be checking out your feet.
Aha!
Line in the sand. Yeah, TSR.
Yes. Never played it, but
You've never played it, but you have it down there.
yes, a
Yeah,
friend
it's
gave
down
it.
here in the bottom, right here.
A friend gave it to me. So
It was that good. He said,
You're-
get this out of my life.
you're already one game up on me on it.
There you go. We'll have to do make sure you do a game playthrough and show us how to play the games.
There you go. I didn't even get a chance to to do it. Okay, I'll be on a few minutes.
You doing your daughter's homework
Yeah,
again?
I'm doing homework. Maybe you want to do it online?
No.
I'll be a couple minutes.
Okay,
Good luck.
so that was our last question. So let's see what we got here. John Willis, hi Tony and Mitch. John UK just wanted to say thanks for your videos. You really helped us understand the rules. Marty, ever go over the differences between the different BUA types? Yeah, we have, but there is a sheet that
Right here.
someone decided to make that was really helpful. I believe it is on the DBA site, and I may have a copy of it here. And I want to say it's Paul Hanna from the Northwest that came up with the sheet on the BUAs, and I will point you guys to it because it's really helpful. Now I can't tell you if it's right or not. That's my cop out. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. This is he's done a few of these, and one of them I believe is a cheat sheet for
Terrain, right?
the terrain. I believe so. And I will show it to you guys and tell you where you can get it if that is the case. Well, there is one. The matter is, do I have it with me? I may not. There is. It is on the DBA files section. And
Wasn't it isn't it down?
I don't think it's not. This is not the.
Is it there?
Here you go.
There.
Here you go.
Aha!
Okay.
There it is.
So yeah, this is by Eric Donaldson and Paul Hanna from Washington State, and they did this back in 2016. I believe this is in the file section on the DBA Facebook page, and you want to look for a file that's called DBA 3.0 Terrain QRS. Okay, and here is the different BUAs. So it tells you what kind of going it is, whether it's a city, a fort, a hamlet, or an edifice. That's basically the 4 BUA types. So for instance, the BUA city is considered bad going. It has denizens, maybe garrisoned by 1 foot element. BUA fort is also bad going. No denizens, must be garrisoned by 1 foot element. So here's the differences. If you put a fort down, you end up having to put someone inside, yep. But it doesn't count for anything.
No, not the fort.
So a city, actually, if you take a city, it's worth a value of 1.
Yep.
If you put a city down, you don't have to put a camp down.
Yep.
So, but then it costs 2 if you lose it. Okay, so that's the catch 22.
Yep.
Hamlet, which I like to use, are rough going. It has no denizens and a half base width block shooting. So it's line of sight like a woods.
Yep.
But it's like rough going field. Like a plowed field full of rutabagas. I got you again. Got you again. All right. And an edifice is bad going, has no denizens. It's not bad going if it's used as a camp. Oh, so you can. If it gets placed, you can actually use it as a camp. I don't know that we've done that in any of our games.
No, but you don't.
And then a half base with block shooting. So it's basically like a woods.
Yeah. Completely.
Mm-hmm. So. Anyhow, this is a useful little thing. So, and again, if that's not accurate, then you know who to go to. He lives in near the Seattle area, and
his house number is.
You can look him up on the white pages. No, I don't know if he. I actually have never used this. I just printed this out along with lots of other things, and they're in this folder that I just happen to have with me that I never use. And you brought it up, so there you go.
Yeah.
A busy couple guys. Any progress of Tony's DBR will bring that up at the end. Does the garrison get negative modifiers for bad going? I don't think so.
No, it's positive.
No, I don't think so. That chart may not be accurate. I don't know. John Willis, busy couple guys. Any progress DBR? Okay, so. I know I've been talking off and on about doing it. So here's what we know so far. It's not going to be DBA 3.0 compatible. It will be a different game. It will be similarities to it. And I've tried to start working on it multiple times. And it's probably not going to happen until this COVID's over. I don't need any more problems. So, and my heart's not in it right now. I know that if I worked on it, it would just create more. It would create more drama for me, and I kind of made a decision I was going to work on that and do regular 15 stuff, and I've decided to do World War II stuff. Hey, I haven't done World War II stuff in 20 freaking years.
Now he gets around to it.
Yeah, now I get around to it. Well, there's no, I'm not going to do my World War II stuff at conventions, and we're not going to have a convention anytime soon, or ever. I don't know when, so, now's the time to do it. So no, I haven't made any progress on the Renaissance. It will not be called DBA anything. It will not be called RRR anything. That doesn't mean it doesn't have any similarities. But if you guys have a computer, okay, you can get a game called Pike and Shot by Matrix Games, and you see how that plays. What I would come up with would be something similar to that, but you would paint your own figures for and stuff like that. So. But it's nowhere near being done. I was just starting to work on it, and then the Chinese decided to cough on us. So
we're just getting ready to get the right kind of hammers for the losing side.
In a nutshell, work's too busy, and too many people are going around arguing about everything in this world that I don't want more arguments. I'm not interested in it. So I don't know if it'll ever happen, but there you go. There you have it. But it won't be the RRR version for 3.0, because in RRR a lot of things were kind of shoehorned in to make it work through all the periods. I'm more interested in the 1500s, and that's what I would work on first. And it would be something that would be like that. But it's not going to be everybody has 12 elements. Some armies may have 13 or 14 or 11.
Yep.
But
or 8 or 9, right? Possibly.
Maybe. But pikes are going to be there's no double. You have to double up pikes and stuff like that. It will be one unit's one unit. It's either it could be a pike keel, or it's just going to take some work to do. And it's a lot of work, So for me, painting and gaming is therapy. Working on rules is the opposite of therapy. So I don't need any more of that right now. So, anyways, that's where we're at on the Renaissance front, or as they would say all the time in the show we just finished watching yesterday, Renaissance. No, I don't freaking say that. That's ridiculous.
Oh.
Yeah, no, even they don't say that. All right, let's see. We got anything else? What was the biggest surprise for you from 2.2 to 3.0? Have you guys played with the deployment option I showed Mitch last week? I just got here. No, I commented that you left the thing here. No, we have not.
The biggest surprise was probably that slide.
But that's pretty clearly written in the
Yeah.
rules. That's your biggest surprise?
I mean, like, if you're talking about, like, kind of cool change, surprise.
You just said surprise. What do you think a surprise is? A surprise is a cool change? Let's look up at the Harbach dictionary.
Yeah.
Surprise means cool thing.
Ever so slightly. I thought it was cool that surprise the sliding, because you could barely make that, and then all of a sudden it allow you to create a combat and go beyond your movement.
So that surprised you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But it was good. I like it. It was a good
I don't know if I could pick one, because there were so many. And by surprises, I mean, like, really? We've been doing this shit wrong so many? And for me, it was, all the things like probably bad going hills. The difficult hills, the fact that you have to be within the edge to be able to shoot out, that blew my mind.
And then,
the difficult hills are basically woods that you can get a height advantage on. Okay? They're all wooded and super craggy. Whereas before, unless we played them wrong before too, they were just a height advantage. That's where you wanted to park bow on top of, and then just shoot your way out. And it was difficult for people to come up to them. But now it's like you just have to be able to fight from the edge. So that was a surprise for me. And then warband and stuff, don't pursue and bad going.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
It took us a while to figure that one out.
Yeah, I mean stuff that we played, hundreds of games, and then we're like, oh well, we've been playing it wrong.
We've been doing that wrong.
Well, we've been playing it by the same set of rules, us two. So
yeah.
That's not an asterisk.
Because we've both done it.
That's right.
Oh man.
So there's been lots of surprises. I think we're running into a lot less of them every week. Hopefully, I mean, geez, we played hundreds of games of this.
Yeah, that would be a surprise if we found out something that we didn't know yet, that we haven't run across yet.
It wouldn't surprise me. The way it was worded. Yeah.
So far, I thought we've come across everything that you could. I thought.
Well, if you could put together, if you decided, since you're off, for lots of time during the week, with nothing to do. I mean, you have a day off, and you don't even have a daughter to take care of. You're basically just sitting around here by whatever one does by himself. Anyhow, you should be able to put an unofficial guide together for 3.0. What do you think?
Ooh, it's gonna be readable though.
Well, yeah, you gotta type it. We can't use your handwriting.
Type it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You can't use your handwriting. Otherwise, you'd end up being, you'd have to use like hieroglyphics, and it would be on that. What's that paper that the butcher would wrap the meat in? That's what it would be in for yours. It'd be wrapped in butcher paper.
Maybe I gotta write this down at work. Oh,
we've had several people say, "Hey, you guys, you should do an unofficial guide," and I'm like, I'm not going to do it because we're going to miss stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just, some of it is just our interpretation. Like there's been things that have been brought up, like, hey, like somebody will ask a question, but they'll already have this idea of how they think it should be. So then they ask, people that are experienced with playing it, that have played in a lot of conventions, not necessarily us, but people that play in the UK, whatever, and they say, well, this is how it is, and they'll sit there and argue with them. Well, you can play the rules however you want. I mean, I'm just telling you, if you come to a show in the Eastern United States, those things that we used to have in 2019 and earlier, shows.
Way back. So
that's how it's going to get ruled. If you want to play it by a different way, by all means, nobody's stopping you. But an unofficial guide, it's the author's already said it's not needed. I think the rules are pretty good. The problem is that when you might find one aspect of a unit, like how does it move in bad going, or can it even go in there, and it's not listed under movement. It's listed in like the description of the unit or something else. Nothing's ever repeated a second time. So if it gets mentioned early in the rules, something about it as aspect about what happens with hordes or something like that, or artillery. Can artillery go into bad going? It may not be mentioned in the movement thing, so you go crazy looking for it. Mm. So you just got to keep looking again, But it's just the rules aren't organized how we would organize them, without a doubt. Like you're still looking for artillery generals, and you can't see anywhere in the rules where it says you could actually not have any.
He's there. I can feel it.
So I believe in DBA 1.0, you could designate, I'm just going on theory here because I never played it, but in DBA 1.0, you could designate any unit as the general. So you could have had an artillery general.
See? He just forgot the...
You want to just play that? You want to just start playing 1.0? I heard you just take Vikings, just send them all the way across and just roll everybody over.
You don't have Vikings. I do.
Yeah, Vikings aren't quick killed by knights, I think.
Oh.
And they don't impetuate.
Oh.
It's just a wall that comes and falls on you.
Oof.
Yeah.
Vikings.
Yeah. The other white meat. Okay, let's see what else we got. Skylab 707 from the hills of Utah. Oh. Hi guys, one gamer in my group built the Galatian army but loses every game with them. Any suggestions that I can pass on so he can beat the Romans? Yeah, have him play the Romans instead. The Galatians aren't that bad.
Yeah.
You sure he's using the right list? The Galatians aren't that bad. What book are they, Mitch?
2.
Yeah, they're 2.
30s or 40s?
Something like that. Let's find out where the hell they are.
I know they're on the left side of the page.
Oh, the Dacians. See, that's what I was looking for. Dacians, Galatians, same thing. I get those two mixed up.
Galatians or Dacians?
He's talking about the Galatians. The Galatians have a bunch of warbands.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
But they
it's
have
warband.
chariots.
They have a side chariot, yeah. Yeah. They could have naked troops. Woohoo!
So you stick the side chariot on the end of the line.
Book 230.
Because the side chariot doesn't take a negative.
Do you have any advice? Yeah, play somebody that sucks at the game more than you do.
Play the new guy. Play the Roman.
Use a D10.
Oh,
and make sure the other guy doesn't use a D10.
Yeah. No, you're just going to use this one thing.
Galatians. Okay, so one army is, the early Galatians have a light chariot or a solid foot general. Yeah, no brainer, which one I'm going with. Another light chariot. 2 cav. Okay, not so bad. 7 solid warband that it even says here they're naked warriors.
Ah!
Wow. Don't trip on anything, folks.
Whoops.
And another light chariot or a Saloy. That's not that bad, our army. So they got 7 warband. That's all right. And then the later one has, you'll like this army. It has a light chariot general or a solid blade general.
Oh, yeah.
Solid blade generals are cool. 2 cav, a solid blade or a light chariot or a solid warband, then 5 solid warbands, then a side chariot or another solid warband or a Saloy, and then 2 solid warband or 2 Saloy. So that army right there, I'm running it probably.
You build the B list.
You build it. You build a B list. That's the first step, okay? And you take a blade general. You got 2 cav. Take another blade. So you got a solid blade and 1 other blade. Then you've got 2 cav.
With you're fighting Romans?
Yeah.
I'd take the mounted general. Because he's a 4 against their 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're fighting the Romans.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're more disadvantaged against mounted.
Well, you still get 2 cav.
Yeah, but they get a general who's a 4 instead of 3.
Well, you lose the game how you want. Okay? And then you got 5 solid war bands. You no way of getting around that. Your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then a side chariot. Definitely take the side chariot.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't need 2 more solid war bands. Take the Savoy.
Uh-huh.
What's her aggression? 4 before 187, then aggression 1. Okay, so fight the Romans after 189. Before 189, not 187. So make sure you build a B list after 189, and you can't have any allies. I guess they don't get along with anybody.
Ooh, they hate everybody. That's a good thing, though.
Except I made a mistake. There's a C list too!
Whoa! What's
yeah!
on the
Let's see
What's
what the C list is. Okay, it has a cav general, 2 more cav, a solid blade, then 6 imitation legionnaires or warriors. So you have 6 elements. It could be solid blade or warband or solid warband. And then a solid. Okay, so here's what you do. Take the C list and you win. It's a better army than the Roman one.
Go after their auxilia.
No, that's the Romans who don't have auxilia. They're all blade.
Oh.
They fought the freaking Marian Romans.
Oh.
So you can out cav the Romans.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have a cav general, 2 more cav, and then you can have 8 solid blade and a Saloy. That's a good army.
Yeah, don't get too excited about running the warband in to hit the blades. Try to put that off as long as you can. You try and win the battle on the flank with your mounted stuff first.
Yeah, I think it's an okay army.
Yeah.
I ought to build them next.
Yeah, you do that. After you get done with...
After all my Russian tanks. Got it. After all my Russian tanks. Got it.
Wagon train.
Wagon train? You were still struggling with it. I was just going to let you just sit there idling.
Sticking to the chow wagon, you know.
The Purina dog chow.
Yeah,
run across the bottom of the screen, circa 1978.
Yeah.
Holy hubba bubba, Batman.
Oh man.
Let's see. Marty says, so in 2.2, the slide couldn't exceed the element movement. Does it actually state you can exceed the movement distance? It doesn't. I don't think it states that, but according to the fact group, it can. So I didn't write the rules.
Uh-huh.
What's the new Galatians list of Skylab? Told you already. The old days of Falxman beat holes in a Roman line to give the warbands better numbers. There are many DBA 3.0 players. Are there any DBA 3.0 players that use 25 millimeter miniatures?
Whoa.
Not many.
Whoa, dude, that's a workout.
What's that?
25 millimeter, man.
Oh,
It's a workout game. We're getting close to retirement age. We don't want to work out.
Me?
Yeah, he'd use too much paint then. You have to get gallons of paint to paint all that. And to cut down how many guys you get done in a day.
I already spend 4 hours on a figure. I don't even spend 12 hours on a figure.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
25 millimeter?
I had one.
At Historic, let's see, I've played maybe 4 games. I've played almost 2,000 games of DBA, of all versions. I have only played 25 millimeter maybe 4 times. Because they have to supply the figures. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I got no interest in ever having any.
Yeah, it's the only time I've ever played 3.0 is if somebody else had the figures. The 25.
It's okay. It doesn't play different. It's just, you know.
But yeah, it's definitely it's a lot easier to cart around 15 millimeter. A lot of armies instead of 25 millimeter. A lot of armies.
And I know you don't paint.
Right.
And you're not going to start painting anytime soon. He's too old. Yeah. But as someone who in the last 5 years their vision has not become impaired but has changed. Okay? So I can't, mine. No, yes, your vision's gotten bad too. But I can't see, too good. No, I've always been nearsighted, as long as I remember. But I paint with contacts in. And I'm usually about this distance from the figures, so maybe I'm a foot away from them just for comfort zone of it, not necessarily not being able to see. And in the last 5 years, it started getting kind of blurry. Like, okay, that's a lot of glare on this. Where I started getting readers. I've got plus 325s to see, and then it's like that didn't cut it. So now I just take my contacts out because I'm nearsighted at -6.5. So I have a 6.5 plus natural vision. Anyways, so I'm just painting basically blind because I can't. I'll say, well, I know you don't watch my painting videos because you're uncultured. But I say all the time, let me put my glasses on so I can find the next paint. My paint's 2 feet from me, but I can't see the colors. It's all one big blur. So now I'm just painting without contacts. But the point I was getting at is, a lot of people say they do 25s because they can't see the 15s anymore, and they'd still be blurry to me. So I don't see how that would help. Now I do know someone who used to paint 15s, and they said they can't paint them anymore because they're shaking too much, and they can do the 28s. Now I don't want that shaking thing. I would rather have the be shitting my pants or dementia, but I don't want shaky hands. Okay, look, I'm only good at one thing. Please don't take that from me. Anyhow, but so for me, painting the bigger figures wouldn't necessarily help because it's just it's a vision thing, which is really weird because when you've been nearsighted your whole life, the idea that you can't see something because it's too close to you, it's like backwards. It's like saying you can't crawl, but you can run a marathon. It's just back-asswards. So it's kind of taken me a few years to kind of process. Like, oh, okay, well, I'll just take my contacts on and paint without my contacts. Because I could wear one of those Optivisor things, but most of the Optivisors, and I know that they have one that's like plus 10, but the thing's like this big, okay? And I'm not working on jewelry. I need a bigger field of view than that. But they go to like 3.5, 5. That's worse than what I normally have anyways. So, anyhow. So I don't think 25s are a thing for me. But if I was going to do 25s, I would do them in a way that the stand could have. You could have the figures based individually on the stand, and like say they're like on a penny or something like that, and then you can pull them off, and then you could play an individual man-to-man skill game like Saga with the same figures.
So they have multi-purpose.
Yeah, multi-purpose. That's right. And then you could drop them in there, and they would still be so they could do both.
Makes sense.
Okay, so
that makes sense.
Okay, upwards and onwards. Let's see. Yeah, Marty says on 1.0 through 1.2, the general could be any unit. You missed out. You should have played the earlier ones. You could have had your artillery general.
Could have had him. It could have been a contender.
Could have been a contender. John Peter, man, it's late in Deutschland. I was looking for DBA 3.0 terrain QRS, and both the DBA and DBA Hot Facebook sites could not find it. I don't know where it was. Marty, oops, I was thinking Dacians as well. I know it is. It's the... Yeah, I think of Galatians, Dacians, same thing. It's because they're both barbarians, and they're both in the same area.
Hemisphere.
They're same, and it's the same area. Yeah. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that QRS isn't there, then it's got to be somewhere. Maybe ask it there. Maybe somebody can tell you where to find it. I know Paul Hanna put it together, so maybe I'll send him a message and see where he found it on there. But like I said, I don't know if the stuff's accurate. I'm not saying it's not, but there's a thing what kind of bad going is a city, but you can't walk through a city. You're either in the city or you're not. So I didn't make that thing. See, that's why I don't want to do these helpful aids, because it's difficult to get everything right. It just really is. And I don't want to put wrong information out there, and then you have to go, and correct it and everything, and fix everything. No, what I meant was this, that, or the other, So. Okay, anything else? Or what do we got? Almost an hour? There's no time limit on this thing, but we do have to get to other things, whatever that may be.
Uh-huh.
I hear you got to whoop my ass or something tonight. Well,
I don't know about that.
it ought to be easy depending on what army I brought.
Ooh, I wonder if he brung those solid oxygen.
We're not using those guys until they can get some allied
Yeah.
help. They need some help.
Well, you, and go get your cousins too.
Yeah, we need some people that are helpful here. So, okay. What are your favorite ways to store armies? That's a good question.
Yeah, you probably get the best.
You put them in a sock. I do have the best method, but I'm not afraid of learning from other people.
Yeah.
I let you make mistakes, and I reap the
Mine
rewards.
just go in a box, and they're packed tight.
What kind of box? Show them one of the boxes.
I'll show you a box.
There's nothing going on in Utah right now.
We got a box.
He's probably snowed in, waiting for that mountain lion to come eat him.
Ah. A couple different sizes. So
Mitch has the cheapest way of doing the armies.
Yeah.
Not that mine's expensive, but
I get them free. Well, not this box. This box. Well, I think, but I store mine in, but it's not magnetized, so they can move around. But if you pack them tight enough, hopefully they don't move around too much. And whatever you do, don't
so here's your
drop them.
Poles, Crusaders,
Yeah.
Alexander
Yeah,
Macedonians.
I got 3 armies in here and 3 different camps. And that's how that one is. Then comes the real expensive one. You got this box at work for free. And this is all my Greeks.
That's
again,
all the Greeks you have? I thought you had more Greeks than that.
No, pretty much all the Greeks are in there. And again, no magnet. And they're just all packed in there pretty tight. So hopefully they don't move around too much. But that's me.
Okay, now I'll show you guys how it's done.
Yeah, this is what you want to
This
do.
is how it's done.
If you really love your figures, you'll do it that way.
It's not about loving your figures, it's about like taking care of them. You spend all the time painting them.
Yeah.
Alright. So for terrain, you can get these at Publix or whatever. This is just
They're not everywhere in the world, Tony.
they're not well they will be.
Yeah.
They're not paying you
Soon.
shit so they can expand.
Soon they'll be everywhere.
Yeah. The new Walmart. Okay. So just my terrain, I just kind of have it thrown in here. This is just a little thing on here, and the terrain is just sits there. It doesn't really damage itself because it's pretty light. So that's all I do for the terrain. And for this is this is as much cooking as I do. So which is not at all.
Are they
So
done
this
yet?
is a baking pan.
Are they done yet?
Which you can get at any place, that sells cheap things, like Walmart or something like that.
Or a dollar store, maybe, right?
I don't know if dollar store has it.
Oh.
I got this at Walmart back when I was allowed to go in that store.
Aha.
And this is all it is. All mine are, of course, on Litco stands. They're all magnetized. So I could probably
Turn it upside down. But we're not
almost
gonna do
hold it upside down. Let's not do that. But you can certainly go 90 degrees and you're fine. You can put these guys on the side of the refrigerator if you wanted to.
that. Yeah.
But this is not the first thing that I did. The first army I did do with Litco stands. And the reason I did Litco stands is they just happened to be selling them there with magnetic bottoms. I'm like, well, that
So
seems
it was
like it
an
worked.
accident.
It was an accident, okay? But the first thing I did is I did what a Plano box, okay? Like a subdivided Plano box. It's made out of the same material. But of course, it's not magnetized. So Litco also sells, it's called, I forget exactly what the terminology is, but it's called something like sheet metal. Basically, it looks like a magnet, but it has metallic properties. So it has the opposite of the magnetic bottoms. And you can cut it in strips, and I would lay the inside of my plastic container with those strips. Of course, I had to do it in strips because it's got all those internal subdivisions on a Plano box. And that's what I would carry them in. And I'm not a scientist.
But
Not only am I a scientist, I probably will never be a scientist. But there's a certain amount of strength of grippage that this magnet has, okay? And if you put this thin magnet with the thin metal, it grips it, but it doesn't grip it so good. But because this, when you put it on something that has this much, because this whole thing is metal, it grips it a lot better. It holds it so much better. I mean, they don't even move at all. If this was on the strip ones, they would move some. So I don't know what kind of, whether it has stronger ions or the electrons aren't being shared and holding kumbaya, you know, and singing kumbaya together. Whatever the reason is, this has more mass and it works a lot better than if you do one thing on a sheet of something else.
So is the metal from Krypton.
Yeah, so a lot of people, what they use is they use metal bases with like a sheet magnet. And that's not going to work as good because you need one of the two things, either the magnet or the actual thing it's in to be hefty and have a lot of mass so that it grips it well. Like there's some people that would use those Craftsman boxes, like those, they would bring like the big, the metal things. Yeah. Those weigh a ton. They fall on your foot, game over, you know. Nobody's going to be staring at your foot anymore, Mitch. Okay? But those have a lot of mass, so that would work as well. So that's what I would recommend. This only costs like $6. And the nice thing is they do stack one on top of each other when you're not using them. But they also have extra height. So it works really well for pikes. Pretty much anything will fit in here. I think you're looking at like 3 inches or something like that. You should be fine. But this has served me well. Now, what do you carry this in? Well, this is where the wife comes in. She decided it was a good idea that I should have a man purse.
He's always had one. Everybody, he's always had one.
What's that? I've always had one. So this is a company. So this is a product by these like beach bags. It's a company called 31. It's spelled out 31. And they cater to women or whatever. But they actually make this in camouflage or whatever. I didn't want a camouflage one, but anyhow. So this is deep, so you can fit probably 4 of these top down and have plenty of space to put things. You got some pockets. You got extra pockets over here on the outside where you can put. I thought this was a mask. No, we don't need that here. You know, I think I had the collision course rules that were in here. I don't know, maybe they fell out. But it gives you lots of space to put on here. It's very durable, and it holds a lot. And they're not really cheap, but they're not really expensive either. They'll probably last your whole life until you lose one. So, and actually, one thing that I got in last January, you know, before Armageddon happened, and there's no more conventions, is and you haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
I got one of those collapsible things that's kind of made out of the same material that we can roll around and put all our troops so we can take it back to the car. One of those wagon things that, you know, we don't need now because there's no more conventions. So we'll use that whenever it's... I was going to do a review and then, you know, the gates of hell opened up and we can't do anything anymore. So, but that's what I use to carry the stuff in. I've been pretty happy with it. And it's relatively inexpensive. I mean... Those, you know, they have them everywhere. I don't know if they have them at the dollar store, but Target, Walmart, and places like that, you know. So
places of such.
Places of such. So, anything else? That's it. Okay. Well,
hopefully
there you have it. Hopefully that was useful.
Yeah.
So don't forget, if you got any other questions that didn't make it on here, if you watch this video and go, man, I wish they would have talked about what your favorite way to line a cat's litter box is.
There, see?
Well, you came to the wrong place because you'll have a cat before I will.
I don't either. I don't have a cat.
No, I'm not a pet person.
Yeah.
So,
mine are outside.
But if you have any other questions that didn't make it on here, put them in the comments section on this video, and I'll compile them. And then next time we feel like we have enough, or a couple months have gone by. Or really, when a lot of people didn't come in. I guess we could do this like 4 or 5 people, but you know,
get some other input.
Yeah. Anyhow, there you have it. An hour and just a little over an hour.
All right.
Okay. So until next time, don't forget read this backwards and forwards, and the quiz will be in the 13th of March.
There you go. Yeah. Good luck, everybody. If you choose to succeed this.
Anyhow. That's it. So
enjoy.
Happy gaming, folks. Bye-bye.